Selling a property with a tenant living in it. When buying an investment property, there may be time in the future where you want to sell it. Sometimes you may be selling an investment property with a tenant living in it. However, it can be more difficult selling an investment property with a tenant living in it. Keeping the home presentable by reducing clutter, maintaining the landscaping and having the property clean are all out of your control if a tenant's occupying it. Here we discuss the option of asking your tenant to vacate in preparation to sell, or to look at ideas to improve your sales campaign when selling an investment property with a tenant living in it. First up, look if you can end the lease agreement with your tenant. Careful consideration needs to go into understanding the laws and regulations in respecting your tenant's livelihood. In some situations, the lease agreement may have expired, meaning the tenant is paying their rent on a month-by-month arrangement. Giving tenants appropriate time to leave and find a new home is also a legal requirement to adhere to. In general terms, you are not permitted to evict a tenant when selling an investment property. If the property is to be disadvantaged selling, particularly in a suburb heavily occupied by owner-occupiers, you may want to communicate to your tenant in advance. If your tenant is satisfied living in the property, you could offer some ideas such as this. Sell the property to your tenant. This can be a prompt way to sell. It can also be a cheaper alternative without the need of paying for a real estate agency fee. You can also offer to sell the home a little cheaper, knowing you have no real estate agent fees. This may be a win-win situation for both yourself and the tenant. Provide the tenant with an extended time to move. This may have a tenant feel more inclined to make the effort to move and break their lease. Offer to pay for the furniture to be moved. Moving homes can be the biggest problem for many looking to find a new home. Perhaps offering to pay a furniture removalist will motivate your tenant to move or leave. Offer a cash incentive. Providing the tenant with a cash incentive may have your tenant agree to move out. Another alternative is offer the last month rent-free. Providing the tenant with a rent-free month may have them agree to move out earlier. Working with your property manager. Discuss the situation with your property manager. Property managers will have a clear understanding of the legal ramifications and can guide you accordingly. In these situations, your property manager will really showcase their skills and their quality service. They will know your tenant quite well and may be able to share some insight or feedback into the reaction of you selling. Your property manager may also have other properties to offer them, which may also help motivate the tenant to leave. Close communication with both the property manager and a tenant is essential. If you're unable to keep contact, it will generally be much harder to sell. Open inspections are very helpful when selling a property. As your tenant is occupying the home, you may want to discuss establishing some days and times that the tenant is satisfied for your sales agent to conduct the open inspection. By establishing set days and times, the better your chances the tenant will cooperate with keeping the home tidy and clean. The more presentable the home, the better chance of selling. Please note that the tenant has their own personal contacts in the home. If the tenant is concerned about their privacy and security of belongings, make sure the selling agent takes further care. They can take photos of identification and ensure they all have contact details of each person attending the open inspection. If you're not getting the tenant's cooperation, you may want to consider some of these. Offering to reduce the rent. This may motivate the tenant to keep the home looking clean in preparation for the open inspection. You could offer to write a good reference so that they can find their next property easier. You could offer a gift. A kind gesture is gifting them something for their efforts to support you in advance. It may be a bunch of flowers, a basket of goodies, or a bottle of wine, for example. Pay for a professional cleaner. Most people will appreciate a professional clean. A tenant will be very happy to have the home clean for them. It may also have your tenant feel more obliged to keep the property cleaner at all times. Buy some essence or wax melt. This will help the property smell good while selling your property. The tenant may appreciate the gift at the same time. Paying for a gardener. Many tenants don't have the time to fully keep the gardens looking spectacular. This is why a low-maintenance garden suits investment property. Nevertheless, paying for a gardener to regularly cut the grass and maintain the gardens during the sales campaign would also be a warm welcome to your tenant. The tenant will have more time to save money. Meanwhile, you're presenting the property in the best standard possible. In summary, these tips should help you think outside the box. If you have a great tenant, they may be happy to leave so you can prepare to sell the property. If they are reluctant to leave, some of the above tips may help. When selling a property with a tenant living in it, always remind yourself it's your investment property, but it's your tenant's home. If you'd like to learn more about property investment, please feel free to contact us through our website at www.crestproperty.net.au. Best of luck. Bye for now.